I will say, guys, the Mel Kiper draft. Okay, he had a 2-rounder. If you guys haven't seen it, right? I mean, I kind of
saw it.
I haven't seen it, so
I have not.
Who do you guys? Or I'll ask the chat if you haven't seen it. Who do you think Mel Kiper took at 29?
Is that really good?
Good old Mel Kiper, the godfather of the draft. Who would you? Who do you think he had the line?
I think he's gonna align with you. I think he's the Detroit Lions. I'm siding with him just going out off the roster. They need one thing. They need a corner. And when you're looking at the board, Field, when I look at it, yeah, they could go BPA, maybe a Darius Robinson sitting there, but they're going to go and they're going to get Kool-Aid McKinstry. That's what I think. So Kool-Aid, that's who I think he's taking the first.
Whoa.
Well, I see Bryce. Bryce says JPJ. Bon J says, I'll say Jordan Morgan. Steve Wild's wide receiver. Alan says, I'm going Chop. You know what? How
about
off
the rooftop of bookies for sure?
How about a Donnie Mitchell? The Godfather, Mel Kiper, he had a Donnie Mitchell going at 29.
Wow.
And his explanation is Detroit general manager Brad Holmes had a tremendous 2023 draft class, which featured contributions from tight end Sam Laporta, running back Jahmyr Gibbs, defensive back Brian Branch, and linebacker Jack Campbell. Can you do it again? Looking at this Lions roster, there aren't many holes to fill. I can make a case for them taking
Mel's voice.
I can take. You can think about it while I'm reading this. Wait, there aren't many holes to fill. I can make this case for them taking a depth interior offensive lineman, an edge rusher, or a corner. But receiver also stands out, particularly one who could run vertical routes and play on the other side of Jameson Williams. Mitchell could be a fit at 6'2". He ran a 4.34 40, showing off his impressive physical tools. He had 11 touchdowns last season. You might consider this a luxury pick, but this roster is so talented that the Lions can afford to take Mitchell. And Kool-Aid McKinstry went right after him at 30.
Can I also throw out there a couple other people who were on the board as well? I want to throw out.
Yeah.
This is going to shock a lot of people. Jerzon Newton didn't go, I think, until 44 in the second round in this mock draft. Jackson Powers Johnson, I think, went at, I have it here, at 47. So, Jerzon Newton was on the board, Jackson Powers Johnson was on the board, Kool-Aid McKinstry was on the board, and Mel Kiper went, give those boys a Donnie Mitchell. So there was a lot of big time dudes on the board, and he gave us a Donnie Mitchell with that. So it's interesting.
I like it though.
I'm not gonna hate that one. If he falls there, I'm with it.
I mean, he's probably.
I'm not with it. He's gonna fall.
I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine.
No, Donnie Mitchell is going to be sitting there waiting. It's like a kid at school waiting for his parents to get picked up, and everyone's getting picked up.
The end of the first round. It's going to be him, Xavier.
Yeah. My parents should be here any minute.
That's a Donnie goes in the first round.
No, he will.
He will. He'll probably go.
Fall past
around where the Lions are selecting, if not early second. He's going to be from 27. What do the Bills pick? What pick do they pick?
28.
And they got Brian Thomas Jr. in this draft.
Yeah, and it's not even a slight at Donnie Mitchell. You guys know how I feel about wide receiver in the first round. I'm just not. I'm not on board with it. It's not like he doesn't fit right. Adonnie's and he's a true X, big body, runs a 4.34. He can make contested catches. I'm just not. It sounds like I'm repeating myself all the time, but boys, the receiver.
We went down that list, Jeff. We went down that list yesterday of all those studs taken past 25 over the past couple of years.
Well,
Booner, I did your homework, by the way, whenever you want it.
It's not even about take a corner. I just would prefer any other position, to be honest. That's just me, besides wide receiver. But what do you guys think? Donnie Mitchell, what's up?
Go ahead, Junge.
I was going to ask you, Jeff, swap out AD Mitchell for Brian Thomas. Are you okay with it?
Yeah, now we can have a conversation.
Okay. Based on what he was I can make sense of either pick. I still wouldn't be in love with it because it's the wide receiver. But again, Brad's best player available. I just don't know if you can make the case that Donnie Mitchell is the best player available. I mean, let's be real. Brian Thomas, maybe you could. I don't know. I'm not as high on a Donnie Mitchell as other people. I think he's good. He's solid, but I just don't.
I wouldn't be mad though. To where I fall with this, it's like I wouldn't be mad if they got another weapon at 29. I'm not going to sit here like maybe the Adonai Mitchell thing isn't it. And I didn't even think he falls to Detroit, so I haven't like I've watched him play in games, but I haven't sat there and watched film of him, so I don't know if he's like that dude to where it's worth the 29th pick. Obviously, like Brian Thomas, I've seen, and guy Xavier Legette, who's going to be available. But I'm with it. If Brad Holmes is like, hey, let's add another weapon, like that's a need. You just lost Josh Reynolds, like that's a need. If that's BPA, man, I'll do it. But it just feels like there are other players that were available at that time to where I would say, yeah, we can like. A Jackson Powers Johnson, I'm not going to sit there and be like, if he's available and you get depth at that offensive line, like you keep your main thing, and keep building that up. I wouldn't like that's where I would rather almost have and go get someone at 61, get a wide receiver there at 61, like a Jalen Polk, who played literally Jalen Polk. And I'm not, this isn't anything at Adonai Mitchell, but when I'm just thinking about it, Jalen Polk put better numbers up at Washington than Adonai Mitchell. And Jalen Polk has two other receivers that are probably going to go in the top 2 rounds as well. So, you know, that production there and a lot of people, at least from what I'm seeing, I know Adam's in the chat, a lot of people, they base everything in the draft and how good you're going to be in the NFL off just production. So there that is. So you might as well, just take the players who have the highest stats and at every position.
No, not that. I think, and I'm not just to contextualize it for you a little bit, Boone. The thing why people are going to put Mitchell over Polk like every time on their big boards right now is because Mitchell can go through all 3 levels of the field. He already has been doing it in college. Polk is more so a deep guy, which again, that's why his productions. They're not saying he's a bad player, but that's why Mitchell's a lot
different.
higher
the
on
game's
people's
different.
boards. Yeah.
Film's probably
but
a little
fellas,
different.
I thought you were about to come to the dark side, Booner. Get a weapon at 29. I think it's the smartest thing to do at that spot because if you look, the Lions needed to upgrade their defense, obviously, last year. They have done that. So if you look around the defenses of the other powerhouse of the NFC, Philly's defense, they got better, and I would say just their front 7, they're always going to have a good defense there. San Francisco, you can say the same thing. So how do you defeat that when I think it's fair to say that going into the season at least, between San Fran, Philly, and Detroit has the lowest defense out of those 2. So it's not like drafting a player in the first round is going to overcome that. How do you overcome that? You get as much weapons as possible. So there's no way that Philadelphia can play their elite defense if they want to because they have to react differently when they're schematically going up against you. I just think the best way to put yourself in Super Bowl mode in an offensive-driven league where defenses win championships, but to get to the Super Bowl most of the time, you need to have that offense. I think that's how you do it. You go get a playmaker at 29 because, yes, you can get a Jalen Polk at 61. You can get a Brendan Rice. I do like those guys. But the players in the first round are in the first round for a reason. This is one of the best wide receiver classes we've seen in a while. So if they're a first-round draft pick, it's for good fucking reason. So if you get one of those guys to help Jared Goff, to help the other wide receivers to create more space, to help Sam Laporta, to help this run game, you can't stop it. You just can't.
Yeah.
You won't be able to stop this offense. I don't think any defense could stop this offense outside of injury.
Real quick, Jeff, before you go to the Lions pick, can you scroll? I see it up on the screen there before you share it. Can you scroll to the Eagles' 2nd round pick for me, just real quick?
Well, right. Well,
I just want
on this.
It's just to Lucas's point, getting a weapon. It's they what they did. You're gonna hate what he has. The Eagles doing. I think I just messed it up for Jeff. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, let's stay on Adonai Mitchell, then we'll get to it because I want to build that up.
It's to that point. It's to that point where I'm pretty sure Mel Kiper has the Eagles in the 2nd round taking Xavier Legette. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong, but he has them taking a wide receiver to add more. I'm pretty sure it's Xavier Legette. I could be wrong on who it was, but he has them taking a wide receiver to add with Devontae Smith, AJ Brown, and Saquon Barkley. Like that's you need to keep these like. You need weapons. And like you see a team like the Eagles, if they do that and they do what Mel Kiper says they're going to do, that's scary. Oh, they take Jalen Polk. My bad. They take not Xavier Legette. They take Jalen Polk. Polk. So that's your adding weapons. Go get me some weapons. Jeff, I'm sorry if I messed you up over there. I see you over there.
No, it's okay. I was just looking to see where Xavier Legette was drafted.
Might be round 1.
Yeah, I mean, I see.
Oh, we went to the Chiefs.
The
Chiefs. 32 overall.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
Chiefs. Here, the Chiefs, just to show you.
You don't want that.
Xavier
That's
Legette.
what it was. I knew he went somewhere where I was like, oh man, that's gonna be a problem.
Did
That would be a
did you guys
problem.
peep, little side convo, but it relates to the Lions as far as Super Bowl chances and other teams? Did you see what happened with Rashee Rice? 8 charges
Yeah.
going his way, most likely.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Wild. And they're going to take a wide receiver.
Yeah, they have to. They really, I mean, they could add to their offensive line, maybe go get another guy in the interior of their defensive line or edge on the other side of Karlaftis, but they need a wide receiver. So I could see them trading up and getting a wide receiver. I could see them trading up and getting a Brian Thomas.
Lucas, would you be mad if we drafted AD and we passed up on Xavier and he gets drafted, 2 picks after us?
I would, but at the end of the day, if Brad sees that they're taking wide receiver in the first round and his flavor is AD Mitchell, then who the fuck am I to judge him? You know what I mean? Like, I just want my player is Xavier Legette, but I think wide receiver is the way they should go. I could be wrong, but because with AD Mitchell, he's, in my opinion, really good at everything, but elite at nothing. But if you can do that, that allows you to have another target that can just go through all 3. Am I hanging still? Or my internet gone?
You're good.
good.
We hear you. Well,
Something about Adonai Mitchell and AD Mitchell, something, yeah.
Well,
He
fellas,
was cooking too.
I'll say this, okay, with the whole wide receiver in the first round. In there, I think Lucas is back now.
I think you're back, brother. No, you're not.
Okay, but I will say this, okay, about the whole wide receiver in the first round thing. If it is a wide receiver, I'm not gonna throw my drink and be like, what the hell are we doing? It's not something that I think the Lions desperately need to kind of target in the first round. But again, based on Brad's philosophy, best player available, if he believes a wide receiver is the best player available, I understand. I just think, and Adam put this in the chat, and I'll ask you guys this. I think it's a good discussion. And essentially, it's if you could draft an all-pro player at 29, what position? Hold on, let me just get rid of that. Okay. Yeah, sorry. We're back. If you could draft an all-pro player at 29, what position would you want on this Detroit team? That's because, again, if you're taking a player at 29, you believe in his ability, right? You get a 5th-year option. He's a first-rounder for a reason. I know 29 is not the same as picking in the top 10, but you still have a lot of faith in what he can be. You hope that player can be all-pro. When I look at this team, I don't think, man, they need an all-pro wide receiver. I think they need an all-pro edge next to Aiden or an all-pro corner. That's how I feel about it. What would you guys say to answer this question? If you could pick an all-pro.
An all-pro edge at 29, sign me the fuck up. There's no other answer, I think.
I would
guarantee if you're guaranteeing me an all-pro, guarantee, whoever.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, yeah, you could do.
Give me a corner.
I'll go. I'm
gonna
going
go corner.
Yeah.
Give me a corner that's an all-pro at 29.
I would still want an edge over a corner, but either of the two.
Yeah, either of the two.
Yeah, it would have to be corner, in my opinion, because to have an all-pro corner, as far as usually the guys that are all-pro corners are usually the all-pro corners every year type of deal. It's hard to find all-pro corners, but you can find most of the time Pro Bowl defensive ends easier than Pro Bowl cornerbacks that are consistent. But it's just the problem is at 29, you're not in a good range to find an all-pro anything outside of running backs, linebackers, wide receivers, possibly tight ends and linemen, in my opinion. Maybe defensive tackles, but you just look. You could at an end, you could at an edge, but I think they just have to be elite at something. And I look at the guys that are there this year, and I don't see anybody that's elite at anything. They're the guys that are very good at some things, but then when you look at their whole game, there's just massive holes. Like the Chop Robinson, elite athleticism, sucks at everything else. Darius Robinson, very good, but not elite at anything. I just think there's factors that aren't there unless somebody drops a Latu or something like that. I don't see anybody at 29 that has all pro potential.
Well, we got an appearance here, Big John, real quick. He's
Big John, number 77, baby. I've been waiting to do that for months,
Big
dude.
John, Chad appearance, few and far between. Am I right? What's up, boys?
Let's
shout
go,
out Big
John.
What would you guys? So you guys say corner or edge? Where are you at, Booner?
I mean, if it's an all-pro at 29, a corner is the value. If you get an all-pro corner at 29, that's great.
Yeah.
That is unbelievable, in my opinion, and especially on this team. You already have Aiden Hutchinson, who could be an all-pro next year. Wide receiver, you already have Amon-Ra St. Brown. You have all-pro offensive linemen, multiple of them already. The only thing you're missing is a corner, an elite corner. Carlton Davis maybe can get to that if he's in the right position. But you don't have that yet, like a proven one. So I'm sitting there with that, dude. I'm corner. Give me the corner. I'm locked in on that. I get the points though.
All your corners are, decent to like above average. You add another all-pro defensive end on a line with Aleem, DJ Reader, Aiden Hutchinson, like those guys will make do when you're always getting pressure on the quarterback with 2 elite edges and then those 2 huge guys up the middle. So like I'm fine with above average corners if my defensive line is eating every single play like they would be.
Is it unfair for me to like say for Brad, right? If you're picking at 29, not that like Lucas said, typically you're not finding all pro. I mean, you got TJ Watt. Okay, fine. But like how often are you getting those type of players? It's not common. But shouldn't that be the priority, trying to find somebody that, like you said, Lucas, if somebody was elite at everything, they'd be going top 10, top 15. But somebody that has the tools to eventually be that, like, that's why I'm like, I don't know if prioritizing wide receiver would be the move.
Like Lucas, to your point with like Xavier Legette and stuff, it's like if he was an all-pro potential, he should be in the top 15 with these other guys. That's where I'm at a little bit with it. But I get
wide receiver class though. Like that's
I get the wide receiver class,
See,
but if you're just that good though, like if you're just that good, even with the wide receiver class, like you would be considered in there with the with these top guys. Like you would be up there. You would be like, oh,
well, Brad
like
would have to
Boone's
think, if you're taking Xavier Legette, that if he selects Xavier, he believes that he has that potential, which is fair. Or Donnie Mitchell, fair.
I think once you get to a certain point in the first round, it's every position, every player. It's if they were all pro potential and you knew they had that talent, they would be going top 15, and that's just a fact. I think,
but like that's why you look at like the Brian Branches, where it's like I'm sitting there, I'm like,
well, yeah, you got to find those guys.
I'm like, what's going on?
100%.
There are
guys like that for sure.
Where they drop down, where it's like if that's a Latu situation, yeah, but. I just think looking at the board right now, the all-pro potential, I don't see a lot of it in the defensive end and corner position. Now, can you get guys that are good and I'd be happy with taking? Yes. But if you're asking, like, if you want to find an all-pro, I don't think it's on those 2 positions this year.
Well, let's get to the second round pick, okay? And this, I think, answers some of the questions here. They had Mel Kiper had the Detroit Lions. What position you think the Godfather Mel, you think he prioritized in the second round? You take a wide receiver.
I already saw I'm talking, I did not participate.
So Lucas and Mike, you took a wide receiver. What is Uncle Mel thinking? All right, at this point,
I already seen it now. So
I'm trying to think, because I've seen a lot of Mel's stuff, and I'm trying to think of the guys that he likes. I'm gonna go edge, because there's a couple guys that.
Well, you got Adisa Isaac.
Oh, I was literally gonna say Adisa Isaac.
Well, he wrote here, Isaac was overshadowed a bit by Chop Robinson, but he actually outproduced his teammate last season, racking up 7.5 sacks. He's not as explosive as Robinson, but he's a well-rounded defender who has an impressive get-off at the snap at 247 pounds. He could play on the edge rushing rotation in Detroit, which needs to get more out of its pass rushers not named Aiden Hutchinson. I love this.
I'm okay with that.
If there was like if day 2 was as big as day 1 and like there was much as anticipation, I would be running up to the podium butt ass naked with Adisa Isaac at 61. If you could have a way to get Adisa Isaac at 61, I think that you can just stop worrying about the edge position as far as in the draft. Like you're fine. You're fine, because that's a guy that can develop even in year 1 as a three down edge, in my opinion. He can do it all.
Dog. He is. I like the dude. What is he? 6'4", what was it? 250?
Yeah, something around there.
Yeah, I think a second round pick, that's good value. I mean, you're getting a pretty damn good player. So I'm cool with this. Maybe I'm not in love with the first round pick, but I'll take Adisa Isaac, boys. That's a great pick.
Yeah, I'm in. Give me an edge. That's the first 2 picks. Give me an edge, man. I'm in on that. And Adisa Isaac at 61, I feel like it is a steal. If he could be better than Chop Robinson, that Lucas, will die on the hill with, which I'm going to follow that battle. Even if they aren't in Detroit, I'm going to make sure I follow that battle for their careers. But I'm interested to see. I like the pick. I'm in on it. It's value getting Adisa Isaac at 61.
Absolutely, it is.
I don't know how much I trust these Mel Kiper drafts, though. I mean, again, guys fall. I don't know, so he probably won't be there at 61. But if that happens,
what you think Mel can be wrong? How dare
Mel?
you?
It's more so like look at the can Mel be right? It's like Mel can be right. Mel can be right. That's more so what it is.
Well, he had JJ going top 5 too. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Cook.
Who do you have?
He's not
Vikings.
wrong on that.
Chart.
he's not-
Yeah, Vikings trading
At
up. For
least
the
he's not just stat watching when it comes to JJ or I'm sorry, players in the draft.
Well, he did say
boy,
JJ's a
Booner.
top 20 prospect to him, but he has the Vikings going and getting him. But he's going top 5, Boone.
Some would
All right,
say
well,
Jay Coker-esque.
Let's go. Let's get to
Imagine going top 5 in those with those numbers.